Alright, I just crossed the finish line at the CPC. I'll tell you what my time was later. Let's look at what I did to get here.
In the last few weeks, I talked a lot about the things I was going to do to help me run faster and to help me run a half marathon under 1 hour and 30 minutes. So let's look at how the preparation went for that. Now, this is my training schedule. It didn't look like this when I first started. I always tend to move around things a lot because things come up and you have to be kind of flexible to change things in your training schedule. Once I completed something, I turned it green, so I'm happy to say that there's a lot of green on the schedule. I planned 3 different runs a week and also leg exercises 3 times a week. Now the first week that worked out pretty well, but with the leg exercises, I like to mix it up by doing upper body exercises as well, like push-ups and pull-ups. And in the second week, I kind of pulled something in my shoulder. I couldn't finish the exercises, and with the pain in my shoulder, I wasn't able to run anymore for a couple of days. So after 5 days, I kind of picked it up again, but I decided for the remainder of the training, I wasn't going to do any of the upper body exercises anymore, just in case. I was very careful building it up again, and after a week, I could pretty much pick up where I left off. Now in week 4, our little bunny BB got sick. She, for some reason, just stopped eating. Now, bunnies have to eat throughout the day because if they don't, their system shuts down and they die. So we took her to the vet straight away. They looked at her and they couldn't really find what was wrong. They gave antibiotics and something to force feed her. Now, that's quite a task to force feed a bunny. So she needed a lot of extra attention, and with all the vet visits, I missed a couple of training days. So that kind of messed with my schedule, but we had to force feed her for like a week and a half and giving her medication, and she didn't seem to get better. So we took her to the vet, and he actually kind of gave up on her and said we probably had to put her down, but then he found something in her mouth. She had an infection, she was operated on, and now she's a happy bunny again, so we're very happy about that. So I missed some of my training days, but there's still a lot of green on the training schedule. Now, 40 days is not a lot of time to train, but I was coming off of training for the Dopey Challenge, where I ran a marathon in January, so I wasn't really training for distance. I was training to run a half marathon faster. Now, the last half marathon I ran in 1 hour, 38 minutes and 41 seconds. My personal best was in 2017 at Disneyland Paris when I ran in 1 hour, 37 minutes and 44 seconds. But that was before I started running with a camera. Since I've been running all my races and most of my training runs with a camera, it has really changed the way I run, and it's made me run slower. So in order to train for this, I had to run without the camera. I had to change my running in order to become faster. The thing about running faster though is that the faster you get, the harder it is to improve. If you run a half marathon in 3 hours, you train hard, you work hard, you might be able to run it in 2.5 hours. If you run it in 1 hour and 40 minutes, it is tough to even get 1 minute faster. It's not impossible, but it'll take a lot of work to get an improvement that doesn't seem that much. I had 40 days of training to shave off 9 minutes of my time. With the training schedule that I set up and the 20 tips that I shared in the videos, I was going to attempt to do this. So let's have a look at how that went.
I'm at the CPC in The Hague. I've been here for a little while, but I was waiting in the car because it's kind of cold out. I got here really early because 2 years ago I got stuck in a traffic jam just to get into the parking lot. So I came a little bit prepared this year, but it wasn't too bad. So I've just been waiting. Now it's about 30 minutes from the start, so let's get ready. Alright, I've looked around a little bit in the area here at the start, but it's time for me to get to the start. I'm not really sure if I can talk to the camera while I'm there, because there's a lot of loud music there, and if only for the reason that my videos will get flagged because of the music. but you might not even be able to hear me talk. I'm not gonna be filming the race, so I'll just comment after the race or once I get home. So yeah, fingers crossed for that 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, see you later. Ready for a start, about 10 more minutes. Here we go. All right, that was the CPC. Oh, that was a tough one. It's very windy here. I'm getting kind of cold. I don't have any extra clothes with me because I dumped my jacket or my sweatshirt at the start. So I'm gonna go back to the car and hurry back home. So let's recap the race a little bit back there.
Man, this race was a tough one. There was a lot of wind. It was an afternoon race, which I'm not a big fan of. I prefer to run early in the morning. But yeah, you can't control everything. Out of the 20 tips that I shared, most of those had to do with preparation. The training, food intake, hydration, weight loss, and I had pretty much all of that covered. I drank my beet juice, wore my best running gear. So yeah, I felt like I was ready for the race. One thing that I didn't mention with the 20 tips, because I hadn't used it before, but I thought it might help me on race day, was that I took a shot of caffeine. I normally don't drink coffee, no tea, no caffeinated energy drinks or anything like that. So I knew it wasn't something that my body was used to. I tested it once on a training run to see if I would have a reaction to it. But yeah, I didn't, so I figured I would use it on race day to see if it would make a difference. I found a pace group of 1 hour and 30 minutes, so I lined up with them before the start. But right before the race started, they moved up to the middle of the corral and they ended up somewhere behind me. So when the race started, I actually didn't start with the pace group, which was the whole point. I didn't want to start out too fast at the beginning of the race. Now, I tried to look for them a little bit, but I didn't want to waste my energy looking over my shoulder the whole time either. At the 5K mark, I came in at 20 minutes and 26 seconds. That's a pace of 4 minutes and 5 seconds. It's a little bit faster than the 4:15 that I should have been running. Now, the next 5K got a little bit tougher. I came in at the 10K mark at 42 minutes, which is the fastest 10K I've run, I think. I was very happy to see that clock, but I was beat and I had to slow down after that. I stopped for water and I saw the pace group run past me. I tried to keep up with them, but I kind of lost sight of them at around 12K when I had to take in some energy gels and pretty soon after that, my jelly beans. At 15K, I was struggling. I had this weird feeling in my stomach. I was really hot. Every water stop, I stopped and poured water over my head. But I remembered from the last time that I ran the race that once we got to the beach, right after that was about the 18K mark, and it was one long straight road back to the finish. So I figured I had to push myself to get there, and then from there, I just had to step it up, push myself, and get to that finish line. But yeah, I was running out of breath, I was running out of energy, and I was just having a tough time. The thing that kept me going was that I knew the pace group for 1 hour and 35 minutes was still behind me. So that motivated me to keep going. And it kind of brought me back to my first half marathon when I ran in 2016 in Disneyland Paris. I was undertrained, and halfway through I was having a hard time, and I just kept telling myself, just keep running, just keep going. And I got to that finish line. So I figured I have to do that now. I have to push myself. I have to keep going. But when I run in Disney, I just have such a great time. I can't keep the smile off my face. I just love running through the parks. And now I was not having a good time. I smiled twice, and that was because I saw a photographer standing on the sidelines. So I was really struggling. I was having a bad time. I had this pain in my side. I knew I still had a long way to go, and I knew I wasn't going to reach my goal of an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, I really felt like, yeah, just walk the rest of the way and just give up. But there was a voice in the back of my head that said, just keep going. You have to keep going. The thing I talked about in the video as well, the positive attitude, the thing that just wants it more. I wanted to prove that all the things that I talked about in my training, in the videos, that they worked, that I made progress in my training. So I kept going. I pushed myself for those last 3 kilometers. And I knew that at the end of that long straight road, there was just one more bend just before the finish, and then a stretch to the finish. I figured I just have to get to that bend. And once I'm there, I'm going to give it my all and just cross that finish line. And I did. I put all my energy in it, the last stretch to the finish. And I crossed the finish line at 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 58 seconds. Luckily for me, there were a lot of first aid people there. They saw I was struggling. They helped me out, gave me power drink, let me rest up a little bit because I was drained. I was beat. I was very dizzy as well, but I got to that finish line. Now, I didn't run under 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I did shave off 4 minutes of my last race time and set a personal record. So I'm very happy with that. It might not seem like a lot, 4 minutes, but to me it's huge. I only have 40 days to train, and with the circumstances, I missed some of that training as well. So yeah, to me it proves that what I've been doing works. My training methods, my exercises, they did make me faster, and they did make me a better runner. I've already shared a lot of tips in the videos leading up to this race, but I still have a lot more, and I want to share the exercises that I've been doing in my training that allow me to be able to run faster. So yeah, I'll be talking about that in some upcoming videos, so make sure you don't miss those by subscribing to the channel. Down below, it's free. Also, I still owe you some runs that I did in Florida, and they're coming up pretty soon as well. For now, it's time for some recovery, and then getting ready for more training for the marathon that I'm running in April. Until next time, get out there and run.